It's And Just Like That, Season 3, Episode 4, Apples to Apples. When Carrie unexpectedly extends her stay in Virginia, Aidan suggests she spend some time with his sons. Miranda follows Joy's advice during an on-camera interview. Camera.
That was his second take.
This is hard, guys. You don't understand how hard this is.
I don't know about that.
Anyway, hey guys, it's Pod in the City. We're here with Season 3, Episode 4 of And Just Like That. Every week, we're also doing live reactions, and this last week's has gotten us on and popping. And what I do want to welcome, there are new viewers. I want to start us off with just a little brief about who we are and what's going on. So if you are brand new here, please go watch our other shit. Listen to all of it on repeat. In fact, join our Patreon, patreon.com/podinthecity. Here, just so you guys know, Amanda and I have known each other for 20 years. So this is about us watching the show. It's not, we may miss points. We may not recap it all perfectly or step by step. I'm sure there's other podcasts that do that. But ours is how we live through this podcast or through this show, and just like that. And
yeah, we also don't edit, so what we say is what you get.
Basically, I'm just prefacing with like, trust me, I'm not spiraling out about any of the comments. We had a really healthy, amazing comment section this week.
Oh, are you addressing the fact that most people are like going out, like you had a pretty hot take last week?
Oh, basically
you're on the side of like you're on Wyatt's side. We need to talk about Wyatt is what this episode should be called.
I'm not prefacing it for that. I'm giving a warning to people.
Okay.
Because if you don't want to listen to just our straight opinions, leave the comments. I love that. But please don't leave us bad reviews and stuff because you think whatever. That's what I'm more leaning towards. And that we invite your comments. And this week, I do realize my view
Oh my God, I didn't ask you to come up here.
My view of nearly everything is the opposite of a lot of people. But that's what's fabulous about the show, right? I mean, guys, all I keep seeing online is constant dragging of And Just Like That. Constant.
And this week, I mean, honestly, when I took my take of Wyatt needs to suck it up, he's a little pussy ass bitch, you were like, no, Wyatt should be protected at all costs and his brothers are being mean. And then everyone took my side and oh, does it feel good.
Here's the thing, guys. We did a live stream. So make sure that if you're watching us on YouTube, you hit the bell so that it like lets you know. Because on Fridays, we're going live. So if you go back and watch the one from this week, I do. Now, I'll tell you guys, I've worked in education I worked in it for over a decade of my life.
As did I.
In different ways. Okay. So that's all I'll say with that. And not every teacher and every educator is the same in their opinions. I believe that when a 13-year-old is being a shit, sometimes maybe you need to give them a little one-on-one attention as opposed to dogging them down every chance you get. And I will also say,
still a wild take based on what we've seen.
A big piece in this episode, and a lot of people are coming to this thing of saying, like, this is a terrible portrayal of ADHD.
Yes, that is a main problem. They're trying to suggest,
they're trying to suggest that Wyatt's problems are because he has ADHD. I'd say this just is like a depressed, upset kid, like
possibly bipolar.
Even then, he never is happy, so you can't say he swings back and forth. He seems to me like a younger brother who feels like he has the short end of the stick in things, and he's 13.
How does he lives in a huge mansion?
He's 13.
Oh my God.
We're only children, Amanda, so we don't know. We don't understand.
Well, I know that he should fucking appreciate what he has and
Trust me. I'm not saying that Wyatt needs coddling all the way. I just think that I was surprised that the parents let the kids cuss at each other and stuff like that. Just
okay.
plus a lot of people are riding hard, being like, Wyatt's a shit. He meant to hit Carrie with the gun.
Oh yeah, I did watch that. Okay, so like I watched it, and I'm not sure if it's that Wyatt hit her on purpose or that the actor like had to set it up that he did hit, or it was the actor like being like, I have to hit her.
I feel like they would have made it more of a moment if he did it on purpose. I feel like they would have focused on him like rearing back and smacking her or something.
Well, it's not very well directed,
because I watched it 3 times in a row. I will say I did also watch the credits, and we have been talking a lot on our previous episodes. Check those out. Such as when Giuseppe was serving the Italian sausage last week.
Yeah.
And also check out our weekly roundups. Those are every Wednesday at 2 p.m. EST, baby. And there we go, talk shit about like gossip and stuff. Anyway, what was I saying? This is what happens.
Yeah, you watched it 3 times in a row.
I did watch it 3 times just because I was like, okay, because someone left a comment and did say, go watch it back. And I do think like, sure, but I feel like I feel like in general, our society, and now this comes from me who's a total bitch and like about certain things and about everything. I don't think we give, I mean, it's a child. It's still a child. And so it's
had the exact same upbringing as his 2 older brothers who have now managed to be polite members of society who aren't acting like spoiled brats. They can interact with the people around them without making life miserable for everyone in the room.
But that's because they're 20. Because Tate's a douchebag. He comes off as an asshole, and he's 21. So give Wyatt 8 years, and then we can see. Who knows what those other kids were like when they were 13, you know?
Wyatt is acting exactly like me when I was 11, and my parents took me to Disney World, and I acted exactly like him the whole time, and my dad slapped me. And I deserved it. And I deserved it. He should have pounded me into the ground. Basically. Well, I was doing it on purpose, and I knew exactly what I was doing, and I knew I was making everyone upset, and I deserved it. So, okay, can we agree on this one? And we agree on this.
Yes.
Most of this is Aidan's fault as a father.
All of it's Aidan's fault. All of it is Aidan's fault. And unfortunately, I was really riding hard. Spoiler alert for the end of the episode, guys, but I was so convinced in our live that this was a breakup.
Right.
I was like, oh my God, yeah. Like, yes, it's like a weird kind of like, here, I'm giving you this, but I know you won't be there. So it's kind of like, here, I'm letting you off easy.
Yeah.
But in the rewatch, I do see like, Carrie is still wasting her damn time. And what I see most of the online discourse is like, this show is not it's not the characters we ever had. Carrie is like less empowered than she was in her 30s.
With men, she's always kind of a blushing flower with men.
But you would hope, like you would watch this and I want to see strong power bitch Carrie. And she's just so like, well, I got hit in the head once by this thing. Oh, I'm done for the day.
Yeah, but then Aidan's line is like, come on, you know he's not dangerous, Carrie. You don't need to make him feel any worse. First of all, he doesn't feel bad at all. And like, oh, I sent you a TikTok just now that's like, is Wyatt giving like school shooter vibes? And I was like, yeah. Fucking Billington.
I mean, he is. I think he's a good actor. People online are saying he's a bad actor.
Oh, really? No, I think he's so good.
I think he's great. I'm like, wow, perfect. Okay. Again, though, I am definitely like, I have empathy so hard for kids, old people, and like animals. Like, you know, the like vulnerable ones amongst us. I think Amanda might be frozen, unfortunately. Oh, baby. Just like that, it's a hot mess express over here at Pod.
It's been raining slightly in Calgary the past 3 days, so my internet's been spotty.
Oh yeah. Also, if you're new here, we are by Countryal or something. I was gonna say by coastal, but like Amanda lives in Canada and I live in the US. So, you know,
Bisexual.
She has like healthcare and I have nothing. All right.
You did just bomb Iran though. Anyway, let's get back to Sex and the City, the fantasy world of Sex and the City.
We're ready for this episode, so let's get right into it. I mean, last episode, if we remember, guys, we left off last episode with Carrie like basically in this depressing, sad guest house.
Yeah.
In Virginia.
One last note about Wyatt. Do you think that Wyatt is gonna how quickly until Wyatt starts making like those what is it called when you like put on your camera and you just talk you talk for like 2 hours and you're just like bitching? He's like in how long until he like joins the manosphere?
I thought you were gonna say a manifesto.
That's what I meant. That's the word I was looking for. Yes, manifesto. How soon until Wyatt makes a manifesto? And is Wyatt already considered to be a incel? And is he red pill? Does he already call himself red pill? Where are we on that?
I think that if there is any chance that Anne Just Like That makes it to a 4th season, which I'm thinking it's not going to.
We go that way with it, huh?
They're going to do prediction that they're going to have an episode called We Need to Talk About Wyatt.
Oh my God. You know how much how campy that would be?
No, I don't want it because ultimately
write it, please.
Ultimately,
yeah.
Me watching my love and desire from Sex and the City surrounds episodes where like Samantha is trying to like get fucked by the man with the biggest dick she's ever been with, and she can't possibly take it, even though he's this gorgeous, lovely man. And then like, you know, I want quickness, first of all. Cut the episode shorter.
Couple good. You wanted to talk about the comments. One said, "I don't give it. This is childcare in the city right now." Is one of our comments, and then another one was like, "The show is actually like I understand what they're doing, but the reason that we're nitpicking it so much is because it's so fucking long and drawn out that we don't have anything else to do with our brains than to nitpick it."
I also think that Aidan, who I hate, by the end of this episode, I'm like, worst. I hate your guts more than we should go back. If we include Anne Just Like That on our ranking of men, unfortunately, I think Amanda's frozen.
All right. Sorry.
Are we here?
Yeah, like sorry, we have no power over the internet. So all right, let's just start here. Yeah, okay. But
Wyatt.
Wyatt manifesto. To Wyatt manifesto 2026. Carrie, okay, so we start out. Carrie is waking up in her dress and slip, and the shoes I think never left her feet. This is outrageous. In my drunkest, I don't think I've slept with my shoes on before.
The dress is also very like voluptuous, and so like her boobs are like hoisted up.
And she'd have to be wearing a strapless bra with that. I don't know if you've ever had to wear bras before, but a strapless bra is maybe the worst possible thing you could wear.
I don't think she's wearing a bra. I think there's a built-in bra in the dress. Anyway, she wakes up in the room and you're like, oh Lord, here we go. And then
I would be kind of, I feel like Aidan should have waken her up first. So this is awkward, I feel, because she wakes up and everyone's already playing and like painting right outside her open window. And then Wyatt's like
peeping Tom on her.
And he's just like, duh, like a stupid, dumb face looking at me. It's also uncomfortable because it's like now everyone's up and it's like, also I have like major social anxiety, but I would feel so awkward, wouldn't you? Now you have to make an entrance into this.
You know, I hate to be this bitch, but I wouldn't be in this circumstance in the first place.
Well, okay.
If I showed up and the guy's like, hey, why don't you stay till Wednesday? And I'm like, okay, I guess. And then he's like, but I'm too afraid to tell my teenage children that you're here. Let me do it when they wake up in the morning and before they get to their painting job. I'd be like, sweetheart, you go ahead and handle that. no, I wouldn't even, no, it's so hard because I don't actually think Carrie would do this. By the end of this episode, I truly was in my mind being like, if she did not have a history with Aidan.
Oh, for sure.
What is she even finding attractive about him? Oh, the part when it says my dance moves are weird and he goes,
I wrote that part down specifically. Like that was, I would be like, what has gotten in? Who is this? Is this you around your family? Because I'm out.
Even when he does the double thumbs up, it's like,
I know. Again, who are you? My internet says it's shoddy again. So let's see.
Keep it pushing, babe.
I'm trying. Carrie now emerges. She has to make an entrance. And one kid's being, Homer is being nice. Again, Homer irritates me too, because he's on the other end of this, where I'm like, what's wrong with you? He's giving off serial killer vibes. He's giving off a Ted Bundy, except while Wyatt's giving Klebold.
He does. And then he especially does when he later is like, bye, Carrie. Have fun in town finding a dress or whatever.
Wearing my clothes, by the way. He gives Carrie his clothes. No, I'll wear your dad's clothes, my boyfriend's clothes. I don't need to wear your clothes. That is such a girlfriend thing.
You know what's so wild?
What?
The back of his shirt. Someone's going to comment and be like, what a dumb fuck. The back of the shirt said Shaw. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like Carrie obviously must have that on, like that must be, I don't know. I wasn't thinking, watching this. I'm like, oh, like Shaw is like a shortened version of Bradshaw. I never in the 25 years put together that Aidan Shaw and Carrie Bradshaw. Why would they choose the same? Why would they have the same end of their names?
I don't know. MPK thought this was a great episode, though.
Also, though, at the end of the episode, in the credits, it does say solely written by Michael Patrick King.
Yeah, he didn't let anyone else touch this. So this was his baby.
Did you listen to the writer's room?
Yeah, I did. But I did by Friday. I didn't re-listen to it.
Is that what he says?
No. But he was he was very proud of this one. Again, this was the best episode of like potentially the whole and just like that.
I liked the first episode better.
Well, because Rosie was in it. But when I remember that episode, all I really think about is Rosie. I couldn't tell you anything else that really happened.
It gave me at least more Sex in the City vibes than this did. This does not give me Sex in the City at all.
Yeah. So anyway, they're painting. I said Homer's a little thank you 5 bitch, because he is. He would if Homer was in theater, he would do well in theater though. But he would be the thank you 5 of
Homer.
Yeah,
is a homo. I just
okay. But if I were Wyatt, I would hate Homer too. And I feel like Homer kind of leans into it too. Like, well, I'm the golden child compared to you.
That's where I do have a little space in my heart. You don't have
siblings though. You're taking such a firm stance on the way the siblings are treating him. And you would think that you had like some weird upbringing where you were all pitted against you and your brothers.
I've experienced children who have siblings and all that. So
okay, I also know people with siblings.
I'm just saying. No, like
I know what you're saying.
Again.
I just think it's so funny that all the comments were coming in like, ew, I do not agree with you about Wyatt.
I think that a lot of people are just forgetting that it's like a 13-year-old and it's kind of like
13-year-olds are assholes. I was an asshole at 13.
I get it, but you have to like mold them then.
Okay. Well, they're doing a really piss poor job of it.
That's what I'm saying. Aidan's doing a terrible job of molding him. There's just little nuances that that appear throughout, like when they go do the VR and when they're like, oh, Carrie gets hit in the head and she's like, I'm done for the day. Why wouldn't? Like, if you know your kid is going to get pissed off and this is the one thing they want to do, why wouldn't you just be like, okay, let's just keep, like, Carrie can sit there. We can do this for 15 more minutes.
Yeah, Aidan, now we're done with VR. That was
then later, even here's another example I'll give on the Wyatt side. Thank you. Is Aidan he makes a joke while they're playing the apples to apples to, like, I guess try and de-escalate his own son, but you don't make jokes at
he's
pissed
negging
off
him the
kids.
entire episode. Like it's like, he's annoyed with you. Like, and
That's what I'm
he's, like,
saying. They're
being
like
annoying.
goading him on almost at some points, because he does something and he's like, huh, and he's like, you're not funny or something, and then he's like, well, Carrie thinks I'm hilarious, and then Carrie's like, you are.
No, but that's not how that happened. And we'll get, and that's not doing apples to apples. That's like when they're outside. Where it's, if I were Carrie, I'd be like, you can't force me to be on your side in this thing. Like, I need to be the cool one if we're gonna try to work the system here.
That's what I mean. Is I don't think they're doing. I'm taking that side. I'm not gonna say that Wyatt's not an asshole, but they're not helping him be less of an asshole.
I'm as annoyed as Wyatt with Aidan. I can't imagine if that was my full-time dad. My God.
Yeah.
Well,
send him out there to paint.
Yeah,
Don't give him Adderall.
We got a life as a house situation here. Like, what's going on? Anyway, let's just get some of these other storylines out of the way. But Miranda wakes up to Shu jumping on her, and Michael Patrick was going on. He's like, people were like, we're never going to make that kitten jump down onto her chest. I was like, I bet we will. And then it did.
Who are people?
I don't know.
People on set were like, oh, we'd never let poor Cynthia Nixon have a cat jump on her.
No, they were thinking that they wouldn't be able to get the kitten too, but it's like, you put a kitten, an active kitten up here, it's gonna immediately jump down. Like, he really thinks he's doing something.
And you're telling me too, for the filming, that they just had the kitten up there and they were like, okay, go.
Yeah,
they
didn't just like, we'll never get it to jump down, and then it did. Shoo. Anyway, cute. That's that story. So Miranda is house sitting for Carrie, which love that. I love that they addressed that. Although, however, later, what Aidan, I didn't realize that Aidan asked her to stay until next. He goes, next Wednesday is. I would be like, well, I'll go back to New York and then I'll fly back. I am a multimillionaire after all. Again, the overlying thing of this whole episode is Carrie has money. Why aren't you using your money to solve?
True. Someone also commented like, hey, doesn't Carrie have like millions of dollars? Can't she have her shit just like Ubered there?
Target, order from same day delivery from Target, or you can order Uber, you can order Instacart to Target and have someone go shopping for you right now.
We're supposed to be boycotting Target because they're stupid.
I don't think Sarah Jessica's gotten that memo.
But. Sarah Jessica Parker. I was at the store the other day and I saw this very ancient item. I'm not sure if you've heard of it because you know you're not that old, but it's called Neapolitan ice cream.
God. Okay. But then Carrie just calls Miranda. She's like, oh, I'm going to stay. And Miranda's like, so how long are you staying? And Carrie's like, oh, till next Wednesday. If I were Miranda, I'd be like, so this overnight sleepover with your cat is now 13 days long.
Well, Miranda's staying in an Airbnb, but now she's going to be staying at Carrie's nearly empty home.
Yeah, I'd rather stay in the Airbnb, though. Can I just take your cat with me, I guess? Like, I don't want to stay in your, like, cavernous, echoey apartment.
And it's established that Carrie has not bought any furniture because she thinks that it's her and Aidan's home. I almost threw my head into a wall. Sorry to scoot forward so much, but, like, when she's like, I still have mattresses stored in the hallway, expecting the boys to come someday, and they're not coming. And I'm like, I mean, that was good. I like that line.
Yeah, that was a good monologue.
You genuinely wanted them to have bedrooms at your home?
That's nuts.
Are you? Anyway, okay.
I mean, I can't imagine, but okay, so Miranda. Oh, another storyline here that is not really important, but it's setting something up. Is George Washington is upset at LTW because she's been yelling out in her sleep, and you'll never guess where this story came from, John. Michael Patrick, when he was
writing from somewhere,
yeah. Michael Patrick King, when he was, I don't know, writing his book or he was working on some project, and I guess he did this a couple times, and it really upset his partner. So yeah,
he was working on He was working on like Che Diaz's storyline from season 1, and he'd wake up in the night being like, check that box, check that box, finger her in the kitchen, finger Miranda in the kitchen. Kitchen fingering.
He's like,
Honestly,
I knew we needed to use that. I knew we had to fit that in somewhere.
I would take a kitchen fingering right now in this season. I'd pay $100 to Michael Patrick King if we could get something like that. Instead, we get Harry's impotent. Anyway.
We're getting a lot of the men embarrassing themselves. I said that on our live. But over to the Golden Blatt residence, there's this conversation, and this is also from Michael Patrick King. He's part of a building link with his building. So he's like, yeah, it was just funny because there would be people that would ask for stuff.
I'm going to need Michael Patrick King to realize you're not writing a show for multimillionaire show creators. Stop trying to reference things from your life. Talk to a normal person and see what happens in their life and give us a little perspective here.
Look, you and me are the most snarky, cynical people in the world. But like when I on my community page, and if I saw somebody be like, hey, I need a banana. Does anybody have one? And somebody was like, I have one, because I see that often. I always think it's nothing but precious. Like, this is what the internet is for. I would say Michael thinks it's this crazy fuck this lady storyline.
Well, because Michael's like, well, just get it brought to your house. Just order it to your home. Get your servants to go pick you up 25. I mean, how much could a banana cost, Michael?
But that's
literally.
When was the last time you went to the grocery store? But truly, he's like being so snarky about it. I'm like, Harry is funny the way he performs this, but like I find this so precious, this kind of stuff.
Whatever happened to the idea of taking a fucking measuring cup over to your neighbor's house and asking for a cup of sugar? I mean, are we that far removed? Because maybe we're old now.
I need a steamer for my curtains that I bought, and I'm thinking about posting on my community page because I don't want to buy a steamer. I will never use it again.
Actually, that's a good idea. Hey, could I borrow someone's steamer?
I'm sure someone here has one. I'm like, I'll bring it back in 20 minutes.
Community is what we are lacking in our world, and that's where we're at. Why we're where we are now.
Maybe that's why Wyatt is so fucked up, because there's no village.
I'm just gonna say, I think when he's also the youngest. You have to put that into perspective.
Oh my God, John.
He's a 13-year-old with grown adults. That's hard too, who don't give a fuck. I mean, like, honestly, they don't seem like they give much of a fuck.
I think Wyatt needs to suck it up.
Aidan needs to go
get his personality back. He's like, I think he might, like, do you think he has like a brain tumor? That's how they should have this season.
If at the end of the season it comes out that like he had a stroke at one point and this is like something, I would be like, oh, okay.
That would actually be fascinating.
You'd have to though do that to every character because no one is who they were.
But Miranda overcame hers.
I still think Miranda's still weirdly annoying.
Hearing loss.
I want Steve back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that. But anyway.
Okay, let's get back on track. LTW and George Washington aren't sleeping together. Booyah, bang.
Yeah, she's worried about that because she says it's going to be sleep divorce.
Which would be hard. If you're in a partnership, don't you want to? I mean,
you're used to. Yeah, I remember it was very difficult for me to sleep alone after breaking up with someone. Now I hate sleeping with other people, but it is a change. You'll get used to it. But anyway. Another thing about community pages that I feel like people lose their pets and they get them back within like 5 minutes now.
Oh yeah,
that's another really good thing I always see. Anyway,
well, Annie Golden is the one.
Annie Golden. We don't know her name is Marilyn and Harry. Harry's at least funny about this, but he's got like this thing with her. And Harry's dad is on his way, and he's worried. The dad is definitely the one who's going to die, by the way. And when I first watched this episode on Thursday night, they didn't have the next week on, but this time I watched it, they did put it on. So Harry in the next episode is going to go up to Charlotte. He's going to go, I need to talk to you about something. And then Charlotte's going to be like depressed all episode. So I think that his dad probably has cancer or something.
I don't want that. Or do I sound bitchy? Hey, whoever was watching and said I'm bitchy to Amanda, am I being really bitchy?
Well, not over that.
I still wanted it to be, I still feel like it's LTW's dad.
No, it's got to be because we're meeting him. I think they want us to care about it.
I think it's LTW's dad.
And that's why Anthony and Giuseppe would be at the funeral. Why would they be at LTW's dad's funeral?
Well, why would LTW be there?
Because she's Charlotte's best friend.
Is she?
That's her father-in-law. She's one of her best friends. I mean, none of these relationships really make a lot of sense. But Anthony and Giuseppe apparently have dinner there every night.
Did you see that they did a Hot Fellas pop-up?
Oh, I like that idea though.
That's actually smart. And
I
Giuseppe was there.
Did
He
bring his big old dick?
Honey, he looked good outside the show. He was fine. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're cute in the show, but like,
yeah, no, he's a hottie. Diego's coming for dinner Thursday, and Lily wants everyone to meet him. She wants to introduce everyone to the boy who's going to break her heart for the very first time in her life.
I mean, he basically breaks her heart. He's already broken her heart. He's poly and has a boyfriend too. I mean, like,
that's a discussion. I mean, I know all the adults act okay about this, but I'm gonna need at least somebody in her family to step up and be like, "Are you okay with that, Lily?"
You cannot tell me this 90-year-old grandpa hears that he also has a boyfriend and that he's poly and is just like, oh, Polly want a cracker or whatever the fuck.
This 85-year-old old school Jewish man is like, oh, that good for you, Lily. Back in my days, the boy I'm trying to do like an old Jewish man voice and it's coming out like the Mad Hatter. I'm like, Lily. Oh, the boys in my day, they were all gay. Well, anyway, there's no way he would act like that. They're all way too okay with this.
I do like the grandpa though.
He's great. He is dead now in real life. So
I saw that.
Right. You actually told me that. Anyway, so that's the storyline there. Back at Aidan's, Tate is coming for his birthday again next Wednesday. I would leave and come back. But anyway, Carrie, we found out Carrie has a bathing suit she likes from Target. Is there a Target somewhere around? Wyatt doesn't want to paint. Aidan has to stay at the house, he says, because otherwise Wyatt's going to get on his Switch and he's not going to paint. Here's the solution to that. Take his Switch and throw it in the fucking lake. End of story. That's what my parents would have done.
Solution. Who gives a fuck if your kid plays on their Switch? Is that giving him ADHD and making him throw chairs through a door?
That's actually probably helping his ADHD because he's able to focus on something.
I mean, we're not doctors, of course. Y'all let us know in the comments because a lot of people were having feelings of being like, the way this is portrayed as this is ADHD is like,
yeah, ADHD doesn't also mean that I'm going to murder, suicide everyone in my family.
Well, and that I have violent tendencies that I'm gonna like break windows and like rage out, like, or does it? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you and I both have pretty severe ADHD. And, I mean, I guess I did act like this at Disneyland and I got slapped. Okay. Anyway, so back at Aidan. So he's coming. We got this Tate birthday coming up next week. Wyatt doesn't want to paint. Aidan has to stay for Wyatt. He sends Carrie off on this ATV, which look, these are so dangerous. Dayton in Sister Wives, Cody's son, not fake son, adopted son, got into like an accident and his entire half of his face got ripped off on an ATV. And Aidan's like, sure, Carrie, go ahead.
I was more confused about. She's like, oh, I'm so stinky. Stay away from me. Ew. I'm like, first of all, take a shower.
About that. Yeah, have a shower, girl.
And like, I do not believe that Carrie Bradshaw is so stinky ever. But sure,
she's wearing like the material of that dress she's wearing holds scent really bad, so she probably does stink, and it's still dry cleaning.
Probably should have taken it off at one point.
Yeah, don't sleep in it.
The thing that was egregious to me is Aidan's like, all right, baby. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna just go down that way about a mile or so, and you're good.
Oh, all right.
Here, just go drive an ATV a mile down the road in Virginia. I mean,
yeah. Homer suggests a shop called like Daisy's Dress Shop or something, and then there's like a good nuance later, but I think it's just that Rosemary DeWitt is such a good actress that she manages to pull this off. But she goes, oh, hi, Carrie, I love your dress. Is it from Daisies and Daisy? She says like the right name of the store. I thought that was a nice nuance, and it was a nice little camaraderie moment, like, oh, I recognize that dress anywhere.
Well, it also shows that like this is a tiny town and like there's this is the store.
Yeah.
to go.
But is it? I can't guess whether it is a tiny town or not, because Aidan said in the last episode he lives 20 minutes from the city.
Oh yeah.
So there probably is a
What's
Target.
Virginia's? I mean, Virginia's anywhere like.
I have no idea. But anyway, he asked, Carrie and Aidan. No, sorry. LTW now.
Wait, you forgot. Everything was spiraling. We didn't know what was going to happen. And Carrie asks Aidan for a kiss.
Oh, yeah. Michael Patrick talked about that. He said, did you guys notice that she asks him, will you kiss me now?
You could have made it more fucking obvious.
You slapped me in the face like Wyatt hit Carrie in the head with that gun.
And it's like, why do you want... Anyway, again, if they did not have history...
I do not want to kiss Aidan.
Like, she would be grossed out by this man.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been that weird yet, but by the end of this day, I would like... There is no way I could ever sleep with this man again. He is so gross.
He masturbated with an underbite with the
but she also didn't see that. We all saw that. By the way, did you see on Love Island this week? They showed a girl licking her own hand. They like showed it.
To do what? To
finger? Like it was like a kind of the black light where like two people were about to have sex, but like he was
behind her.
Showed her doing that. I was like, I would be so upset. That's too much to show.
Would you ever go on Love Island? Good God.
Totally.
Like you have to be filmed fucking, basically, don't you?
Yeah, is that what it's about? Well, anyway, LTW interviews. She's looking for a new assistant. There's one whose resume is really good named Marion.
Marion Odin. Oh my God. You know what they should have named him? Marion Ovaries, because mine were exploding and I don't even have them. This man is so fine.
Very fine. Anyway, he comes in dressed, as we said on Friday, kind of slutty. You know what you're doing.
LTW also initially thinks it's a woman based on the name. And because LTW is directing this documentary series about unsung Black women, she obviously, which makes sense, you kind of want a woman involved. And so it reveals itself that he's a man, and it's like, oh, I can't, HR, can't do anything about that.
But then he even gives her the out. He's like, I get it. You probably want a woman, right? She's like, no, it's not that. I'd be like, yeah, no, you're maybe the next project. You have a great resume though. Good luck in the future.
Actually, I do want to spend hours with your big swinging dick.
For sure. And then in the next episode on the coming up, it has George Washington seeing a selfie that they posted together on Instagram, which is already overstepping. And he's like, I didn't know that he looked like that. And she goes, looked like what?
Girl. Okay, but it works both ways. You know that he would easily have some hot piece as his assistant and not give two shits.
Right. And he probably
I want her to fuck Marion Odin. I don't even care.
But her husband is running for comptroller.
Well, maybe he should get to comptrolling her pussy so
that
we can have some real shit going, dude.
He will not sleep in the bed with her. I bet Marion will sleep in the bed with her. Anyway, Miranda's... Oh, yeah. So fine. She's going to hire this guy, obviously. Miranda is now on the phone and is like, oh, I guess I'm staying another week, but fine. Carrie now is at this dress shop and she makes an inaccurate Sister Wives reference because this is not what the dresses for Sister Wives look like at the AUB. They look nothing like this. They all match and they don't have a pattern. So, and then my next note is, does MPK not know the significance or popularity of Sister Wives? It's on the same network as him. They're both on Max. You don't understand that Sister Wives is like a huge reference. Like I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed that that's how out of touch he is, that he doesn't know. Like he thinks that, I'll just make a Sister Wives reference. Like people won't jump.
Well, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to take his side slightly here because the first effing dress that she walks out in where she's like, look at me. I'm Little House on the Prairie, which you would immediately need to be shot with a bow and arrow from.
But that dress doesn't look like a Sister Wives dress, though, John.
Okay, I understand what you're saying about no pattern, but I would look at that and think I could see it because it has these big puff sleeves on it, and it's very modest, like very modest.
Yeah, she looked good in it. I like the dress a lot. But anyway, Seema now. Seema's entire storyline. Let's just get Seema out of the way right here. Seema meets with Ryan Sirhan. He has to hire her or bye-bye. And she says, no, I don't want to. I want to like own the company. And he's like, well, get out. Then later she packs up her stuff. She asks her assistant to leave with her. And she says, no, because my rent is $3,000, which I think that Seema should have been like, I will front your rent for 6 months if you come with me.
I've been reading a lot of comments about people being like, I hate Seema.
Really?
Yeah, I love her.
I love her too.
They were saying she's a bad actress.
There are line readings that she gives that I feel are weird, but I also think that she has a little bit of an affectation or accent slightly that kind of makes some of her words sound weird.
I kind of wish she maybe just like had more energy in her stuff, or like was a little more kooky or something, like a little more.
She's trying to find the character, I think. But anyway, that whole story.
The show's getting canceled, I think. So.
I don't think so, though. Everyone's talking about it. Look how much our numbers went up just from this one live show that we did.
Yeah, but I don't know what a freak situation that is. But because Cynthia Nixon was asked by Andy Cohen, what can we expect from the finale? He didn't say season finale. He said finale.
Yeah, but he's probably coked out.
Oh. Allegedly.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's Seema's storyline. I wish there was more, and I actually liked it. I like where we're leading with her.
Sure. I mean, I guess I care. I love seeing a woman be a badass, right?
Ultimately, though, they've given her more of like a real storyline than Charlotte. And I'd rather see Charlotte.
Gonna get my father-in-law died storyline, which I guess is at least relatable.
All of Charlotte's storylines are about other people. It's about her children. It's about Harry's impotence, and now it's about Harry's dad dying.
Well, she had that storyline last week where she was going out to the bar to sell that art.
What happened to that?
I mean, that was wrapped up. That
guy talked about that this week.
Sold the art to that woman that got her the Adderall, I guess.
Who works for LTW.
Oh, yeah. She's like one of her influencer friends. Oh, my God. Carrie and Aidan are now in bed. They have just fucked. Ugh. And daytime fucking. No air. You know there's no air conditioning in there. Just daytime, midday fucking with Aidan.
Is this where she asks about the table?
Yeah. So she asks, why did you not like the table? And Aidan,
why'd you give a thumbs down on the table? He's like, what table?
Oh no, I feel like you wanted a quick answer. Oh, I gave you one. And then she's like, I felt like I could see us sitting there, and I could just see us having a whole life near that table. And he's like, all right, well, in that case, bloop, bloop.
I'm gonna give like slight amount of grace to Aidan here, only because I think if the episodes were shorter, they wouldn't have as much time to fill with bullshit.
You're right.
You didn't have time to go like
banter.
Like people like are literally like, what happened to their chemistry? And I think it's the editing of the show.
So weird. It might be the editing. Well, anyway, he asked for a favor. I need you to spend time with the boys, even though one of them has a clear disdain for you. Would you mind spending the day with him? Without me, by the way, was the original plan.
I just don't even know why you would do this. But again, Aidan doesn't really know either, because later he's like, what? Carrie's like, why'd you ask me to stay? And he's like, well, you came so far that I just thought maybe you should.
He said, I felt bad. I'm like, oh, good. You felt bad for me. That makes me feel.
So you put her through all of this. You did all this just because you were like, oh, well, she came all this way. Right. Not because you love her. Not because you really wanted her to be there at the thing.
He was just like, oh, I feel like it should.
Enough of him. Enough.
LTW and George Washington. Oh God, this is the whole storyline. Can we just wrap up?
Let's wrap up hers too.
That's it. It's just and then her solution. She's like, no, please sleep with me. And he's like, if you yell out once, I'm leaving. So then she decides to stay up all night, which is an insane way to wrap up that storyline. Like, you also have to work tomorrow.
Oh, that's what was.
Yeah, she's like, stay awake. I'm like, so your solution now is that you're not going to sleep. Like, that was just not. That's the most important thing in my life. The most important.
Just put that mouth tape on.
Take
have you
a
seen
take a
people put
Tylenol
mouth
P
tape on?
I was gonna say take a Tylenol PM, but I feel like I have crazy dreams when I take sleeping pills. Don't you?
I don't take sleeping pills.
You know when you have the craziest dreams is I quit smoking weed for like a stint with Brad, for like a 6-month period, let's just say. And though coming off of that, the dreams were wild. And then when I was coming off of alcoholism, woo-hoo, those were vivid, whole bed soaked with sweat.
Oh,
Yes.
with jizz, y'all.
Crazy. Well, anyway, that's
I
the end of
actually think the
LTW
only
storyline.
real story, the biggest storyline of this whole episode was Carrie in Virginia. I know there were
Sure.
little
So,
glimpses of stuff, but
Miranda now is doing is this her job now? Why is this now her job?
I am kind of confused about this too, because she doesn't have a background in journalism. She doesn't have any kind of presentation background at all. And they're having her be a correspondent for the BBC.
She is a courtroom attorney, though, isn't she? So it's like she's acting as if she's never spoken in front of a group of people before.
Yeah, but is that like being on the news?
I feel like
clearly not, because
she's easier. It's one.
She's up there being like, well, amazing things have been happening in the progress of blah, 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 blah. And then she's like, and this outback wild cunt. And then it cuts. A guy's like, did she just say cunt?
We talked about this on Friday, but like they needed a bird to fly by or something. They needed something to make her stop there because it happened for no reason. Nothing was happening to distract her. But fine. I like the storyline. I do like the storyline. And she's very not very funny, but I'll give her that she's being funny, at least in this. It's not our old Miranda, but she's being funny. When she gets sent the meme, she just opens her phone and it's there. And she's like, she just says nothing and she just calls Brady. Anyway, she's become
I laughed at the meme.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's cute. I don't think that would have gone that viral just because so many things. There are crazier things that are coming out every day. I don't think this would
really what Brady says when she calls him is that he's like, Mom, don't worry. Like something's going to happen in 2 hours from now or 2 days from now.
100%. And that is how it is. Joy's outfit, by the way, is so cute when they're out on the street. She's wearing like these white like suspenders and white pants. I am so into these two as a couple.
Continuing Joy, should we just continue in her storyline then too? Because they don't ever intersect.
The only thing really left after this is the August Osage County night. So let's wrap up Miranda. So she's like, do you want to? Before she says wild cunt on air, she does invite Joy out for a drink, or I'll drink tea and you'll drink whatever. So that's established. Then after that, Joy says, no, I can't actually come over because all my friends are in from the UK. So then Carrie's like, you should just have her bring all her friends back to my apartment and you can all have a drink.
But Miranda's also already starting to spiral out, thinking like, oh, her perception of me has changed because I'm the wild cunt lady. And,
You know what? I would argue if Carrie is not going to be icked out by the way Aidan's acting, I think wild cunt is like the least, like that's like the best.
I think that's like nothing. In fact, funny. If I was Joy, I would laugh. I would be like, oh, whatever.
It's so fun. It's also kind of endearing too.
Yeah.
So anyway, she invites them over and Joy's being like weird. The British
Joy's friends are the most over-the-top British people ever. They roll in and they're like, oh my God, are you? You're wild cunt. And the guy's like, oh darling, you're wild cunt. I much prefer. The guy
says, I'm more of a low-key cunt, or he says something like that. It's fine. They do a good job of playing that they're not like, they're intimidating, but they're still being friendly.
Like, yeah, they're not being like, you're a total trash box because you did this.
No, they're being funny about it. I would actually appreciate this if I were her, because they're like making fun of it. And like now it's at least out there and now we can kind of get over it.
But it also leads into like Joy is being more reserved, more pulled back, and Miranda notices it. And I would be noticing it too, I'm sure. But the friends leave. They're like, goodbye, wild cunt. And then they're talking at the door. Is this the same time?
Yeah, right? They're leaving, and then she's like, Joy, You were so quiet today. This conversation was very well played. And like we said, we just think Cynthia Nixon just needs like someone to play off of.
I also love the woman who plays Joy. Her name is...
Oh, I have no idea.
I looked it up and it was a name where I was like, it's Dolly something. Dolly something.
Okay, well, she's fabulous. And I
love her. She's so good.
So
their conversation is that she's like, oh my God, I feel like you're pulling back. And and then the Joy is like, well, you know, what happens to me is that when I start to really become attracted to someone, I don't know what to say. And then Miranda's like, oh, you're attracted to me or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, she says she pulls back when she gets attracted to people. So great. They kissed and they're gonna be together. I think they're gonna fuck next
episode. For sure. And I can't wait.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure they'll make it disgusting in some way. They're gonna make it so that I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
Like fluorescent lighting, fingering.
Let's wrap up Charlotte and Harry's storyline.
So, well, we haven't even introduced, technically, Harry is impotent and he's starting to get worried. And Charlotte wraps it up by being like, honey, it's okay. It's okay. There's going to come a point where we can't have sex because you can't get hard. Now, mind you, why aren't we suggesting Viagra? But okay.
Where's that? And also, like, Larry King fathered a child when he was like 80.
That's what I mean. There's stuff. So let's not act like, just because your dick can't get hard right now, you can't have sex anymore. But Charlotte's like, so how do you feel about that? And like, you know, will that might change things, but we're still a love. And
well, also we have the dinner scene with them, their own little, Annie Golden shows up for the banana. Yeah. And then Harry's dad is there, and the dad is very, very charismatic. And the dad's like, oh, who's this beautiful lady? Why don't you stay for some brisket? So then she stays, and she's like, do you have any barbecue sauce? And Charlotte
she doesn't like the barbecue sauce they bring.
Yeah.
She then later asks for like to-go containers.
Yeah.
She's good, but
she's great. And then Harry's trying to fuck Charlotte and he can't get it up. And he's like, well, I got, I'm just like my dad. I'm going to be bald like my dad. And then I'm bald like my dad. And I'm going to be impotent like my dad. And she's like, your dad's fine. Like he's like chilling. He's like walking around. He's fine. And Harry's like, no, he's an old man. And then Rock walks in and is like, oh, I cleaned up Pop's iPad for him and it was all porn. And oh, by the way, Pop said don't wait up for him because he's fucking Marilyn, Annie Golden over there. And Harry's like, oh, the old guy's still got it, but oh no.
I don't know if I just have a soft spot for like the teenagers in this episode or something, but I actually thought Rock did okay.
Yeah, Rock was fine.
There's one line that I was like, haha, because Rock goes in and is like, it's Pornhub. And then they're like, don't ask me to do anything for you, like, ever. And I don't know why. I don't even think
there was a funny interaction at the table when Diego says that he's Polly. And then the grandpa's like, what's that? And she's like, or Rock says, Polly means that this is how Rock spins it. Diego's attracted to multiple people at the same time. Like, that's not really like a sexuality, though. That just means that you want to cheat on who you're with. You don't want to, you want to cheat.
Well, poly doesn't it mean you want to have multiple partners?
Yeah, but anyway, so Rock says that, and then Rock goes, I'm sorry that I spoke for you, Diego. I hope you don't mind. And Diego's like, no, but thank you for apologizing. And I don't know if this was on purpose, but it was a funny comment on how fucking woke these kids are now and how annoying they are. So
this is so relatable too. I mean, don't you have family dinner? I mean, guys, I am woke. If you're new here, I'm very woke. I'm on the LGBTQ mafia, the alphabet mafia, etc., the gay agenda, all of it. And I'm even watching some of this being like, again, are we right? How relatable is this where you're like, oh yeah, he's poly, and then everyone's just like, oh, okay.
Including the grandpa. And also, I feel like Charlotte, as the mom, should be like, Lily, like we should probably have a conversation about what that means.
You know, it's not being homophobic to question your daughter's new boyfriend being poly.
Yeah.
When they're 17.
And it's also not homophobic to not want to be poly, to want my man to only be sleeping with me.
Well, agreed. It's like anything, right? It's like freedom of sexuality in that way too,
Yeah.
of like, you know, I personally don't want to be, I'm not poly. I'm not judging anyone who's poly, but I'm just saying that we can't act like this is dropped at a dinner table, even at the wokest of woke families, which they are not. Let's be real. You still
Yeah.
live in a fabulous apartment on what, Fifth Avenue or something,
Park
and you're
Avenue, yeah.
billionaires. Let's not, like, couldn't there be like Charlotte couldn't even be like, wait.
I don't know if I would want my 16-year-old daughter's first boyfriend to be this guy who's also having sex with other people. I don't know if I would want that, or if she wants that.
No damn way would I want my daughter to be with a boy who also has a boyfriend. It doesn't have to do with, if it was a girl, I wouldn't want that either. I want them to have a person to, like, come on.
But John, we're forgetting like the most egregious part of her son dating Diego. He's in the theater.
He's a dancer, even worse. A ballet dancer.
Do not let your daughter date theater boys. We've said it multiple times.
They're toxic.
Don't let them.
Like, don't let them date athletes. Don't let them date anything but like
blue collar workers that work alone. Independent contractors. I've had.
So that's the storyline for Charlotte. I'd love to get a little something for her, but
okay, let's get to Carrie here. So we go, Carrie's fishing. And just like that, I'm fishing. Carrie is great, is likable throughout this whole episode, I will say. So she goes, I hope I catch a salmon because I know how to make salmon. Hey, Wyatt, do you like salmon? Which is already very like condescending.
Oh, very annoying.
As Wyatt is like, I know what you're fucking doing. So he's like, you can't catch salmon here. It's Virginia, not Alaska. So
though I was watching this, and again, from my perspective of how I act with like how I would have reacted, like say I was Carrie and you're Wyatt saying you can't get a salmon here. I'd be like, ooh, okay, well, sorry.
Yeah, I'd go, I know.
Like I would soften it. I wouldn't make I don't think they do very well of. How many times do I have to say this?
I do think it's believable that Carrie doesn't really know how to interact with kids that well because she doesn't have kids. So like, this is how I'm always like, I don't really know what to say either. Especially if I know this kid.
Carrie doesn't know how to interact with anyone anymore.
Apparently. So anyway, Carrie's like, well, what do you want to do, Wyatt? A much better person than me because I think I would have said something very sarcastic back. But Carrie tells so Carrie goes to Aidan and
I would have been like, I hate fishing too. It's gross. It stinks.
Well, that's what she does.
Should we do, babe? I mean, like,
look, you're off the clock. So what should we do? Wyatt wants to go do VR. Is that what it's called? Yeah, virtual.
Virtual.
Carrie tells Aidan, and he's like, no, we needs to be painting. And Carrie's like, come on, dude. Like you like. Come on, this is the first time he's made eye contact with me in 2 days. We're going, and then all of a sudden, Aidan's now this like cursing sailor because he
says the F word so many times
in front of his kids.
I'm convinced. Oh, I was convinced during this episode that he's just ad-libbing all of his lines.
Okay, yeah, and he's like he's uncomfortable with ad-libbing, so he just goes to the curse words.
It's just weird because he's like, well, you can't fucking go without me. And
you can't kill fucking zombies without fucking me coming.
Okay. Then they cut to them doing the VR, and he's like, "Motherfucker!"
Dude, I would be like, you shouldn't talk. You shouldn't curse. I curse like a sailor, but like I am uncomfortable when adults curse in front of children.
When I was 13, I had never heard. I don't think I'd ever heard my parents say the F word.
I've never heard my mom or dad say the F word.
I have because I have heard now. But when I was a kid, no, they wouldn't be walking around like, motherfucker!
That would be crazy.
So again, I'm putting it all on Aidan.
Yeah, that was so weird. So then Wyatt hits Carrie in the head and it's over. It's over.
You know what? I'm still going to argue, and maybe this is a controversial take. I still don't think he did it on purpose. Even the way that they show it in the show, it doesn't really look like it. Because they're just moving around and doing stuff. And yes, he's like here. But I feel with the way that they do this show, with the heavy-handedness of everything, there would be a separate shot of like a...
True, they would
like be Wyatt looking at her and going... Like,
yeah, because they spoon feed everything.
That's what I'm saying.
So they would have done. And he does say, "I didn't do it on purpose. I was trying to protect my dad," which So fine, I'll buy it, Wyatt.
I mean, they were playing a game. And again, I hate the way they react. Again, I'm sorry, you guys, this is controversial, I guess. Everyone hates Wyatt. Hate Wyatt. Kill Wyatt. Fuck Wyatt. At the end, he hits her, and then she's like, oh, I'm done for now. Which, fine. That is a perfectly fine thing to do. You know what then Aidan does is he says to Carrie, are you okay? Like, are you okay? And then maybe he sits out even if he has to, and then let the other two kids play. You don't say, okay, game over, we're done.
I think Carrie maybe should. I would have sucked it up here because also I'm such a people pleaser that I would, if I was bleeding out of a gash in my head, I would still keep going.
Again, if you get just bonked on the head during VR, I would be like, oops, shit, accidents happen. I mean, again, I'm still sticking to the side that I don't think he did it on purpose. You guys might disagree.
When I shattered my ankle walking down the stairs at 3 a.m., I still planned to go to work for 7 a.m. Like that was my next course of action, was how to get there with my foot dangling, not attached to my leg anymore.
Well,
really what happened.
You're no Carrie Bradshaw.
No, she's very precious. Anyway, Harry's, we're done with all that. Are we? Okay, so Tater Tot now arrives at the farm. And,
he's a dick. His first interaction is Carrie's being like, happy birthday. And he's like, well, it was a few days. It was 3 days ago.
Yeah, no, that was kind of bitchy. But then Rosemary DeWitt and her boyfriend arrives. And Aidan keeps like dragging Carrie into his negging of Wyatt because he's trying to be funny. And Wyatt's like, you're not being funny, Dad. Which he isn't. He's being annoying. And Aidan's like, I'm hilarious, right, Carrie? And Carrie's like, yes, you're hilarious. But even the way Sarah Jessica's playing it is as if she's like, shut the fuck up. Like,
is she though? Because I thought she was seeming oblivious too. Because she's like, yeah, you are. I would be like, shut up. I mean, if I am trying to get this 13, even if I'm just trying to make it through the next 3 days without this kid raging out and beating me up, I'd be like, shut up, Aidan, you aren't funny.
The move is to be on his side.
Everything. And I'd be like, fuck you, Aidan.
Agreed.
Fuck
well,
it.
Kathy thanks Carrie.
Y'all.
Kathy thanks Carrie for the Adderall. Great. Oh, Miranda at one point here when she calls Carrie right after that, she's wearing this orange romper and she just looks really good. Do you remember that? It's what she's wearing when they come over. Yes. She looks really good in that romper. Tate is opening gifts, and while this is happening, everyone's kind of drinking, and Bob, Rosemary DeWitt's boyfriend, is like, hey, this family's pretty fucked up, huh?
Don't ever give your opinion. Don't you dare.
Well, I think this is probably the dynamic where like people are centered around one specific family and you're just kind of the other. They play this a lot in the show This Is Us. And I imagine that this probably is what it's like for the others in the family, that they're like, oh, thank God I have at least someone. I think he's just happy that there's someone else now, like an outsider with him.
See, what's annoying though to me here is that like, I feel like the show is leading up to this place where they want the audience to be like, Carrie, leave there and let him do what he needs to do and be done. But instead, they at the end have her roll over and be like, well, you got to handle your stuff here and I'll be waiting for you. Like,
there's another good point. How come the mom's allowed to have a boyfriend for 3 years and Aidan can't have a girlfriend who he's already like been in love with, like dated, has a huge history with? Like, what is going on here? Like, why? And also, does she not live in? Why can't Wyatt live with her? Because she seems to be there all the time. But Aidan says she's always gone. She's never here. It's inconsistent. But she seems like she's pretty stable.
That's what I don't understand either. I don't think that they really thought about, like, they didn't think deep enough into like connections of the family, because it doesn't make any sense.
And when it's going to make us hate Aidan more when you cast Rosemary DeWitt as the ex, because maybe give her some unlikable qualities so that it's kind of both of their fault, but there's nothing unlikable about her. If I were Carrie, I'd be like, what did you do to fuck up this relationship with this amazing woman? Like, this is clearly a you thing.
I keep thinking that they're like going to angle her as like this evil woman, or this, even when we were hypothesizing maybe she was taking the Adderall or something. Not saying that makes you an evil.
A more interesting storyline.
It at least is like there's some kind of conflict. I saw a comment today on just like a separate TikTok, because of course, you know, they shove it all in your feed once you're Once I text Amanda, I'm like, what time are we, or should we do And Just Like That? And then I instantly get videos.
Yeah.
And it's like, someone's comment is like, the problem with this show is there's no tension. There's no real thing that we're working towards. We're not moving towards. There's just nothing. It's like, okay, the stakes are that Miranda's on the BBC and she accidentally said
everyone's kind of just doing well. Yeah, Anthony has his own shop. Seema is probably going. Seema's fine. She's gonna be fine. Like everyone's
storyline is actually the most interesting and empowering of all of them.
Yeah, but then she's still obsessed with finding like a guy.
Is she though? I think she's moved past that. But she's gonna be with the gardener, right? Anyway, I'm so done with Aidan's family, and I'm so glad that they're kind of done, but not.
Well, let's move to the next thing with them is then the last is apples to apples. Aidan is just ruining the whole vibe. Like,
totally.
Right? Like, you can just, everyone else is being normal. And Aidan is just being this like, he's like Cody Brown at the table. So he's just like,
you're right.
Peacocking and just being like weird. It's like he knows there's a camera on him.
Well, there's a moment where the card is like, my dance. It's like, what's weird?
Okay, it's mysterious. The word is mysterious, and Aidan goes ooh with his cards. He's like mysterious. We're all
maybe they're showing he has ADHD.
Maybe this is ew. It's gross. So then one of the cards says my dance moves, and then. This is Tate's, I think. Tate goes, oh, I know that my dance moves has to be Dad's. And Aidan's like, starts making these like,
he's like,
howling noises. If I were Rosemary DeWitt, I would look at Carrie and I'd be like, I'm so sorry.
Here's this is my last time I'm going to put my standing up for Wyatt. You know what? They did choose stupid fucking answers because one of them was the first one was delicate. Okay. And it was Carrie choosing. She chooses the answer Walmart, and her explanation of why she chose Walmart for delicate was like, was it delicate?
Yeah, she kind of poor shames a little bit.
It was some
delicate balance of, or it's a delicate social experiment.
Yeah, and I'm like
it's where non-rich people shop, but thanks.
So this, in a way, is again how they're not including a 13-year-old in any of this. You're not thinking in your process because then they go to.
Do you not agree that he's being actively dickish? Like
I do, and I think kids a lot have a tendency to, when they lose, act like poor sports 1000%. But you would have nipped this in the bud before they're 13.
13 is too old to be acting like this.
You would have worked on this when they're about 5, and then they'd be getting over it. I mean, people still.
Also, you probably wouldn't even suggest this as an activity because it's probably been consistent for 13 years. So it's like, let's maybe not play games of Wyatt's going to be here.
Well, then the last category, the thing is mysterious. Okay. And this is where I think Homer's a little douche because he chooses the answer pumpkin spice latte for mysterious.
I think he's in love with Carrie. Or he wants to.
I was Wyatt, I would throw a fit too. Oh my God.
Wyatt makes a good point here.
What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah. Carrie's funny here because she's like, yeah, it's mysterious why they're so good. Like that was fine. That was a fine line.
Yeah, but then Homer's like, yeah, like why do people even like him?
Yeah, I think he wants to fuck her. But Wyatt's card was Jennifer Lawrence, who plays
Mystique.
So I understand why he's pissed, but again, suck it up and get over it, you prick. It's not your birthday.
I know I would have missed the nuance of Mystique being played by Jennifer Lawrence, but I also do not at all think that pumpkin spice latte lines up with mysterious, and I would be like, what? Carrie, I'm not playing this.
They should have been playing Cards Against Humanity, honestly. It's a way better game.
Just shouldn't play this. They shouldn't play games that rely on judging each other.
Yeah, we're at an opinion thing. It should just be black and white rules. Game of life. Play Game of Life.
That's where I think that if there were more nuance in the way that they raised Wyatt, they might have more success.
Oh, we missed something. Earlier when Bob was talking shit with Carrie, it gets revealed that Aidan won't let Wyatt take his ADHD medication, aka Adderall. So Carrie goes up and she's like, I had no idea. I never would have done that. And he's like, no, it's fine. I don't want to talk about it. And she's like, well, what the fuck, dude? Like, this is really awkward. Anyway, so now we're playing apples to apples. Great. Wyatt freaks out because of this mysterious thing.
But also, though, ultimately, Rosemary DeWitt shouldn't have called Carrie to do it either, knowing that Aidan doesn't want him to take it. She shouldn't have done that.
I think she's more worried about her son. You know?
No, I get it. But you don't know any other person in New York. You have to call your ex-husband's girlfriend, who your ex-husband doesn't want him to take it.
I don't know. Aidan, it seems to me like this is another example of like, well, it's been years and years of Aidan being this bitch.
I hate Aidan.
I hate Aidan. And so it's like, I'm going to handle this for my child because you are ruining this.
I totally agree. Though I do think the portrayal of ADHD is not good here because maybe I don't know what ADHD is, but his symptoms that he's exhibiting don't feel like ADHD.
It looks more like a personality disorder.
Yeah, I just think heavy depression too, even. Like, he seems like a very sad 13-year-old moping around with his hair and his braces.
So Wyatt flips out and then he starts screaming. And this is where you, for some reason, aren't on the brother's side, but he starts flipping out and then Tate goes, happy birthday to me. And then Wyatt's like, whoa, no one even cares. No one cares about me. No one cares about my car. Nobody ever cares about me. And Homer says, all we ever do is care about you. And then the other one says, oh, my parents got divorced. Get over it. I think those are two very fair things to say. They're exactly.
I think the first one is fair. I don't think the second one is as fair to throw at someone.
So did you feel bad for James Kennedy when his parents got divorced when he was 36 years old?
No, but he's not 13.
Well.
So put it in perspective. Tate, you had your parents married the entire time that you lived at home. And so you didn't even actually have to experience. You were gone away by the time they got divorced. Okay. And your little brother
Homer's still living there.
Homer again is lobotomized.
Yeah, Homer's weird. I don't like Homer either. I don't like any of the kids.
He's horrible. I hate all of them.
Then Kathy says, this is why he needs to be on medication, Aidan. And Aidan's like, no, you can Carrie be the drug mule. And fuck you, Bob. And Bob's like, what the fuck did I do over here? So anyway, Wyatt now breaks a window with a coat rack. I got smacked at Disneyland. I would have prayed for a smack across the mouth if I pulled this shit.
I can't even imagine breaking a window.
I'm trying to imagine. I think it would still be brought up today if I had done this at 13.
Well, let's wrap it up. Because, guys, did you know that we're doing a Patreon live? Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/podinthecity.
This
is when I was thinking they were breaking up and they didn't.
Right. He goes to the guest house and she's like, he's like, I shouldn't have asked you to come. And she's like, well, then why the fuck did you? And she's like, look, I need to apologize to you because I've been waiting for you to just kind of push past this so that we can start our life together. But obviously that's not going to happen. Like, you need to be here. He goes, are you breaking up with me? And she's like, no, my God, Aidan, here's a key to my apartment. Pop in whenever you like. I would be like, I'm going to date other people though. In the meantime, I'm going to get my pussy wet when I want.
Well, and it's established that she has the beds waiting for the boys to come live there.
And that's it. Just like, the woman glanced out of her train compartment, mystified, not quite sure if her taxing journey just brought her closer to or further from the things she most desired. That's her arriving back.
I want more for Carrie.
Well, we'll see what happens next week.
She's supposed to be getting with a hot dude, so.
Okay, well, great, good. God, Aidan sucks.
Maybe like he'll offer that they could be in an open relationship.
Yeah, poly. They can be poly.
Poly though means they'd have to be like. Well, yeah, guys, let us know in the comments what's the difference between poly and whatever.
Monogamy?
Yeah.
Monogamy.
Anyway, hey guys, if you made it here, it's an hour 14, almost to 15 minutes. We love you so much. What I need you to do really badly, if you haven't left a comment yet, leave one, even if it's how annoying I am talking about Wyatt and like, why do I like troubled children?
Quick note here for the 4th of July, we're not doing a live that day. We're moving it to the 5th noon.
Are we moving it to the 5th or are we moving it to, yeah.
Saturday, the 5th. The live.
Oh yeah, I have it on my thing. All right, we are. Because 4th of July, unless anyway, okay. So
I'm going to the Calgary Stampede on the 4th.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And it's 4th of July in America.
Okay. Guys, hit subscribe, hit like, leave us a comment. If you hate us, pass on by.
Yeah, bye.
Just don't leave us a bad review. We love you. And that's it. I don't know. Yeah. Hey, Amanda.
Yeah.
Some things go in and out of style, but some things that never change.
Friendships stay the same.
Friendships never go out of style.
We'll
Bye, guys.
Bye. What do we play here this? Bye.